All right. So, introduction to American literature. So, I would like to open this lecture on American literature or introduction to American literature with by showing you photos of these legends. Right? Can you recognize this? The first image. Who is this legendary American poet? Can anyone recognize him?
Of course, no, ma'am.
Edgar
No,
Allan.
ma'am.
He is Edgar Allan Poe, right?
Okay.
Yes. What about this one? He is the writer of The Scarlet Letter. Who is he?
Hawthorne.
Yes. And here I have given you a hint. The author of Moby Dick. Who is he? Who wrote Moby Dick? Herman Melville, right? Moby Dick and Walt Whitman. So, what I wish to tell you through this slide is that you know there are a lot of seasoned writers, American writers, and we are indebted to these American writers. So, it is going to be a really rewarding journey to dive into these American writers and study their works. Okay. So, first of all, when we are talking about American literature, right, is there any way we can classify them by the time period? This is what we are going to look at first, right? When we study British literature, right, we have clear demarcation. We have divided English literature into various periods so that we can study the writers who wrote in that period and the characteristics of those periods, right? Can we do the same for American literature, right? So the first thing which you have to remember is that it is very difficult to classify American literature by time period because it is not as well defined, as concrete as British literature. Alright, but then literary scholars, they kept making attempts, and finally we are going to look at is the commonly agreed upon periods of American literature for the sake of convenience of study of American literature, right? Okay, so now one by one I'll be introducing various periods to you along with their timeline. Alright, what you can do is if you have a pen and paper handy, you can write it down so that by the time we meet for the next lecture, you have already committed them to your memory along with the timeline, right? Because it will make the study of American literature more convenient for us. Alright, now this is the first period. Look at the first period and the corresponding timeline. The first period is the colonial period, students, right? And we date it from 1607, right, to 1775, right? 1607 to 1775. Now this year, right, it roughly corresponds to which era in English literature? Jacobean, which started in 1603. Remember that, right? So the colonial period in American literature, this began in 1607 and continued until 1775. I hope the timeline is clear. The first period, right? Any question here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Now, this period, why 1607? Why not any other year? Why 1775? Right. So, this period, it encompasses the founding of Jamestown. What was Jamestown? It was actually the first English human settlement in America, right? So, which was, this particular year becomes very important in American history, right? So, this is considered, because of this important historical event, that is the settlement of the founding of Jamestown, the first English settlement in America, right? We took that year as the opening year or the starting year, up to a decade before the Revolutionary War, the American Revolutionary War, right? we take this period as the colonial period. Is this clear? So please remember these two events, because I have seen that in when you get questions from American literature, the historical events, they become equally important, right? Now, what kind of writings were there, right? Because I told you that UGC NET, it aims at checking your comprehension of that particular period or writer or works. So you got to know what kind of works were produced in colonial period. They were primarily historical, practical, or religious in nature. If you think back to Jacobean period in English literature, what kind of writings were popular? Right? Because most of the writings, they had their genesis in religion. Right? So at that time, most of the writings were historical और रिलीजियस. ये दो टर्म्स याद रखने, ठीक है, क्योंकि वी आर जस्ट स्टार्टिंग आउट. सो ये जो इनिशियल पीरियड्स हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द राइटिंग्स दे वर हिस्टोरिकल, दे हैड देयर रूट्स इन religion or religious text, right? Now, who were writing in that period? Now, these names may not be quite popular, and you may not be familiar with these names, but they are important, right? So we had Phyllis Wheatley, Cotton Mather, William Bradford, Anne Bradstreet, and John Winthrop. Right? These were some of the writers who were writing in that period. So, see, we are obviously, we are not going to look at what they wrote in detail, but you should be familiar with their names. What happens in UGC NET is, at times when you see a question, if you have, even if you have given a cursory reading to something, or even if you have just heard someone say something, it will haunt your memory, and that particular term and that particular name will sound familiar, and that familiarity will guide you to the right option. Remember, there is no negative marking, right? So at times it is enough to allow a few things to haunt your memory and help you in the exam. All right, so look at these names which are displaying on your screens, right? They were writing in colonial period, right? So this American literature, right, which has given us great works, right? It started with very with historical religious writings, and these were the popular writers writing in that period. Okay, now this is important, right? The first account of an enslaved African person, right, what appeared in this colonial period was an account of an African slave. What was this account titled? A narrative of the uncommon sufferings. A narrative of the uncommon sufferings and surprising deliverance of Britain Hammond, a Negro man. Right? It was published during this period, and what was the exact year? 1760. So it came out from Boston in 1760, and this was it. So if you are ever asked, see, if a question like this comes in the exam, that what was the first account, okay, of related to slavery, okay, so you can in American literature, so this particular title should flash in your memory. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And when did it come out? It came out in 1760. See, when we will start studying the UGC NET question papers, you will be surprised by the depth of the questions. That is why these titles, which are not easily available on websites, they are important for you, right? And what I recommend is read a little more about it today, because in today's session, once I wrap up the session, I hope you have written it down somewhere. So do study a little about this particular title today, right? Just give it a reading. I'm not saying that memorize each and every word, right? Just give it a reading, and it will haunt your memory, and it will help you in the exam, right? Now let's move on. So this is colonial period. 1607 roughly correspond to Jacobean period in English literature up to 1775, right? The beginning year is founding of Jamestown, first British settlement in America up to the American Revolutionary War, a decade before the American Revolutionary War. Writings were primarily historical and religious. Some writers were Wheatley, Winthrop, Bradford, Mather, etc. And the first account of African person, right, an African slave, was a narrative of the uncommon suffering, right? Now next is the Revolutionary Age, right? The Revolutionary Age. We take the initial year, the beginning year, as 1765. See, all three numbers are appearing. 567. 567. है ना? Right? In the descending order. From the, yes, right? So it will be easier for you to remember. 1765 up to 1790, right? The last decade. Okay, 1765 to 1790, easy to remember, right? The Revolutionary Age or the Revolutionary period in American literature. It began almost a decade before the Revolutionary War, right, when the colonial period ended, and ended about 25 years later, as you can see in the timeline, right? What were the writers, right? Writers were Jefferson, right? Paine, Madison, Alexander Hamilton, right? So even if these names, they sound new, they don't ring a familiar bell in your ears, they become important, especially Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine, right? So please make a note of these writers who were writing in this period between 1765 to 1790, right? And the important works include Declaration of Independence. It is important, right? Even if it is not strictly a piece of literature, but it is an important document in the history of America, right? So Declaration of Independence came out, the Federalist Papers came out, and the poetry of Joel Barlow and Philip Freneau, right? These, so the poetry was also written in this Revolutionary Age. And who were the prominent poets? These two poets. What you have to do is, today you have to take Declaration of Independence and you have to just read a little about it. When did it come out? And other important information related to it, right? Just give it a surface level reading. Don't go in depth here. Where you need to go in depth, I'll tell you, right? Then the Federalist Paper, just read 2-3 lines about it, and just read 2-3 lines about these two poets. That's it. Got it? So I am, while I am delivering the lecture, I am also telling you the extra work that you need to do, right? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, so ma'am, please do it without fail, right? If we study at an even pace right from the beginning, I am telling you, by the time you will have to appear for the exam, you will be supremely confident about your performance. Okay, so now the next age or the next period, okay, the early national period. This is from 1775 to 1828. I repeat, you can even close your eyes and try to internalize this as you hear my voice. This is from 1775 to 1828. Okay, the first American comedy written for the stage. Okay, in this period, see, this is the advent of American comedy, right? So the first American comedy written for the stage, what was it? The Contrast by Royal Tyler. The Contrast, this was the first American comedy written for stage. It was written in, which year it came out in? 1787, right? 1787. And the first American novel, what was the first American novel? The Power of Sympathy by William Hill. It was written in 1789. So this was a very important decade, this 80s, okay, 1780s, in the history of American literature, because the first comedy The Contrast, and the first novel, The Power of Sympathy, they came out. Right? Is this clear? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, today I want you to read a little about the epistemology. What is epistemology? The origin, the study of the origin of a word. So you have to study about the origin of the word comedy today. Right? It has Greek origin. So which word, right? Which Greek word, this word comedy, this modern word vocabulary comedy, it came out from a Greek word. What was that word? And what is the meaning of that word? You'll be telling me this, or you can let me know in our group, in our group, right? That net group. So you can share this information with me in the group. I'll see, how many of you respond to it. Right? So you will study about the origin of the word comedy. Which Greek word was it, and what was the meaning of that? Let me tell you that this question was asked in UGC Net, right? So, if you study in this manner, you will easily be able to answer those questions in the exam, right? Next is, which all writers were writing in this period? So we have some popular names which you have heard. You might have even read their works, right? Washington Irving, James Fenimore Cooper. Have you read The Last of the Mohicans? Read that? The Last Mohicans? No?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Make a note of this work, right? It's a frontier novel. The Last Mohicans. It was written by James Fenimore Cooper, and I have seen questions being asked from this work. Okay. It's one of the frontier novels. James Fenimore Cooper, The Last Mohicans. Okay. And Charles Brockden Brown are credited with creating distinctively American fiction. A fiction which was truly American in nature, in terms of the content, in terms of the use of the various locations. Okay, so this in this sense, The Last Mohicans is a very important piece of work. Okay, I hope you have made a note of it. Please do read about James Fenimore Cooper. See, I'll also be including James Fenimore Cooper and The Last Mohican in our detailed study of American literature. But in the meanwhile, just remember that it is an important work and you got to read about it. Okay, and then we have Edgar Allan Poe and William Cullen Bryant. Right, they began writing poetry. So Edgar Allan Poe, he began writing poetry in this period, but most of his poems and other works, they were written in the next period, right? But he started writing in this particular period, right? So we will be studying Edgar Allan Poe in detail for his tremendous contribution to American literature, right? So now you have started finding familiar names on the slide, right? Before this, I took a few names which you might not have heard about. So James Fenimore Cooper in The Last Mohican, Edgar Allan Poe, right? We'll be studying them in detail. So this period is early national period. Remember the timeline. Remember the first comedy. Remember the first American novel, right? Edgar Allan Poe, which age he started writing in, and James Fenimore Cooper, right? We will be studying about frontier novels later. Next we have, right, the American Renaissance, right? So far we already know about Renaissance in the British sense, right? Now, what is American Renaissance? What kind of works came out, right? When did it start? It started in 1828 and it ended in 1865. So these two dates, they become very important. Please write them down, right, and go over, repeat them mentally a few times before we proceed to the other important information. 1828 to 1865. 1828 to 1865. Okay. Now this period, okay, this is also known as Romantic period in America. This is also called the age of transcendentalism, right? We will be studying about transcendental writer in detail, right? You may already be familiar with some of those writers. So remember that this period is very important. This is also known as the Romantic period. This is also known as the age of transcendentalism in America. Okay, who are the major writers? The names include Walt Whitman, which we will study, Ralph Waldo Emerson, okay, Henry David Thoreau, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Edgar Allan Poe, right? I told you that his major works, they came out in this particular period, and Herman Melville. So you will find all these writers, right, mentioned in syllabus of top universities. So you are required to study them, and we will be studying them in detail. Just remember their names. Okay, now there's another name which is not included in the previous list, that is Margaret Fuller. Please make a note of it. Margaret Fuller. Please read at least a few lines, 10-20 lines about Margaret Fuller today, right? Okay, they are credited with shaping the literature and ideals of many later writers because they were laying the foundation, right? They have made tremendous contribution to American literature, right? So remember, add Margaret Fuller to this list and read a little about it, right? Other major contribution include the poetry of H.W. Longfellow. While you are in the school, you have read many beautiful short poems of H.W. Longfellow and the short stories of Melville. See, Melville is, I showed you photo of Melville in the second slide, alright? He is known for his popular novel Moby Dick, right? Other than that, he is also known for his short stories. Seemingly, you may feel that it is a very insignificant trivial information, but you never know. In UGC net, name of a writer will be given to you, and then 4 to 5 sentences will be given about those sentences can be about his work, his life, poets or writers who inspired him. So make note of this seemingly insignificant information, that he is also popular for his short stories, right? Melville is also known for his short stories. So when we will study Melville, we will also look at some of his short stories. Remember that. Then I have already mentioned Poe, right? Then we have Hawthorne, right? Scarlet Letter, and we have Harriet Beecher Stowe. Her work we will also be looking at. See, for some writers we will just be looking at titles of their work. For other writers, we will be studying their work in details, right? Next is, this era is inauguration point of American literary criticism, right? So if we talk about American literary criticism, right, the age we reckon is the American Renaissance or the Romantic period in America, right? And this criticism, who were the prominent figures in American criticism? Edgar Allan Poe, right? James Russell Lowell and William Gilmore Simms. These are the popular names in initial American literary criticism. Please make yourself familiar with these three names, even if you are hearing the remaining two names for the first time. Poe, Lowell, Gilmore, right? Remember these names. Next is the year 1853 and 1859. Write down these two names, 1853, right, and 1859. They brought out the first novel written by African American author, I repeat, right? Works, the first novels written by not merely American writers, but African American writers, because whenever we are talking about African American writer, it becomes important. Okay, now one was Clotel, right? Clotel, it is a novel. Genre क्या है? It's a novel, ठीक है? Clotel by William Wells Brown. William Wells Brown, he was an African American author, right? And he is credited with writing first African American novel, that is Clotel. And The next one is R. Nig, okay, which is by Harriet E. Wilson. Okay, so this is, so if you are asked that first African American novel, it will be 1853, Clotel, right? And why 1859 R. Nig is important? It is because it was by first female African American writer. Who was she? Harriet E. Wilson. Clear? Is this clear to everyone? Any question?
Yes, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. There is a lot of information for you to chew and digest today. Okay? Isn't it?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am. We
Yes,
also
ma'am.
think.
Yes, I understand because you are hearing these new names. I'll be sharing the recording with you. But what will be more beneficial is that you go over this presentation that I'll be sharing, because recording that is time consuming. As far as PPT is concerned, you can just go over the particular slide and write down the information which you need, extract the information which you need. Okay. Next is the realistic period. Now comes realistic period. Okay, so it is, remember, see, look at the sequence. It follows which period? Romantic period. Okay, which is also known as transcendentalism in America. So this is the realistic period. It is from 1865 to 1900, right? 1865 to 1900. Now, as a result of the American Civil War, Reconstruction, and the age of industrialism, American ideals and self awareness changed in profound ways. Why am I telling you all these things? I am telling you all these things so that your comprehension improves, right? So that you know that what was at the heart of the social economic background in this particular period. Why a certain kind of literature was written? Because it is in UGC net now. Okay, so these things also become pretty important. So what is happening? Industrialism is at its peak, right? American Civil War has taken place, and the entire American ideas is undergoing shifting and change, right? As a result, American literature, new works are being thrown out in American literature. So romantic notions of American Renaissance were replaced by realistic descriptions of American life. This phrase is pretty important. What is that? What kind of work you get to see? Realistic description of American life. The romantic ideals have made way for realistic descriptions of American life. And which authors are doing that? Okay, so we have names like William Dean Howells, Henry James. Henry James is very important, right? Remember A Portrait of a Lady, Henry James, and Mark Twain. We'll be studying Henry James and Mark Twain in details, their life, their works, any other piece of work they have written other than novels. We'll be looking at all these things. Okay, so remember these two prominent names from this age. So if I give you a period and I ask you to give me two important writers from that period, you should be able to do that. So if I ask you from realistic period, you should be able to tell me Henry James and Mark Twain. Remember these two names. If I ask you the characteristic of literature, realistic. Okay, romantic ideals were replaced with realistic descriptions of American life. Okay, remember this. Next is, this period also gave rise to regional writing. Right, this is again very important. Regional writing, a writing which was about a particular region. Okay, such as the works of, now who are important writers in this category? We have Jewett, we have Kate, we have Brett, we have Mary Wilkins, and we have George W. Cable. Right, you might not have heard of them, they may not be in the university curriculum, but when I say UGC, we should at least be familiar with these names. Okay, because the moment you hear these names, the phrase that should leap at you, that phrase should be regional writing. Please equate these names in your mind with regional writing. Okay, clear? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So even if you don't remember exact name, just find a way to remember at least either the first name or the second name or the last name, right? Just remember at least the middle name or the last name, and then just equate it with regional writing in your mind. Next is, this period is also known for writings of Walt Whitman, which we will study in detail, and Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson. Study of American literature is not complete without study of Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, Mark Twain, and Henry James. Right? Henry James, Mark Twain, Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson. Two poets, two novelists. Right? Next is the naturalist period. So we had which period? We had romantic period, then we have realistic period, now we have naturalist period, right? There are some writers in American literature. The moment you read about them, you will hear this word mentioned, naturalist. Okay, so what is it? You should know about it, right? So this particular period is called the naturalist period, 1900 to 1914. 1914. Why is this important year important? 1914. What important historical event took place in this year?
First World War.
Yes, yes. Okay, so remember 1914. Now this is a very short period, right? And what are some important American naturalist writers? Okay, because this term naturalist writer is very important, and I am going to take it up in one of my classes. Right now, you should get introduced to this term, and you should get introduced to the writers who wrote or who are associated with with these kind of writings. We have Frank Norris, we have Theodore Dreiser, and we have Jack London. Remember all these three names. ये तीनों नाम आपको याद रहने चाहिए, नॉरिस, ड्रेजियर, लंडन. और कौन सा राइटिंग है इनकी आपको याद रखनी है? नेचुरलिस्ट राइटिंग. ओके, अब ये नेचुरलिस्ट राइटिंग क्या है, क्या फीचर्स हैं, क्या इम्पॉर्टेंट वर्क्स हैं नेचुरलिस्ट राइटिंग के, वी विल लुक एट दोज वर्क्स, राइट. एंड इन राइटिंग्स में का एक जो इम्पॉर्टेंट फीचर है, I have taken it up right away. Their characters are victims who fall prey to their own base instincts. Base instincts, your lesser instincts in humans, and to economic and sociological factors. So, in works of naturalist writer, the protagonist, the central character, will be a victim, right? He or she may be victim of her own baser instincts or economic and sociological factors surrounding him or her, right? Just remember it. ये इस सेकेंड पॉइंट में आपके लिए बहुत सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन है. आपके लिए ये टर्म है, आपके लिए ये तीन राइटर्स हैं इस कैटेगरी के, और आपके लिए एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है. ठीक है, अब ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको नेचुरलिस्ट राइटिंग के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता. अभी आपको ये तीन पॉइंट सब पता है. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट है एडिथ वॉटन. wrote some of her most important classics. ठीक है, now again there is a packet of information for you. What are those works, right? The Custom of the Country. The Custom of the Country came out in 1913, Athens from 1911, and The House of Mirth, very important, House of Mirth, 1905. आपको आज क्या करना है? ठीक है, टुडे यू हैव टू राइट डाउन द प्रोटैगनिस्ट ऑफ ऑल दीज थ्री वर्क्स. बस इतना सा काम करना है. हु इज़ द प्रोटैगनिस्ट ऑफ द कस्टम ऑफ द कंट्री, हु इज़ द प्रोटैगनिस्ट ऑफ एथेन फ्रॉम, एंड हु इज़ द प्रोटैगनिस्ट ऑफ द हाउस ऑफ मर्थ. ये आपको याद रखना है, लिखना है, ग्रुप में शेयर करना है. इज दिस क्लियर? यस. Do you know that by the time we will be having our second lecture, you already have a lot of information to internalize, chew, digest, and gather, right? So you are going to be on your toes when you are preparing for NET, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. I did not mean to include this test here, so we will come back to it, right? We'll come back to this test part later. First, we will study the modern period. Okay. So the modern period, it has from 1914 to 1939, right? By this time, the second World War has ended. It began and it ended, right? No, it didn't end. It didn't end, right? If I'm saying 1914, the World War started. The First World War started, right? Okay. After the American Renaissance, the modern period is the second most influential and artistically rich age of American writing. No question from here. It's just that it is just for your knowledge that this was a very productive term in terms of literary output. That's it. What is important is that the writers who all wrote in this period, right? And it's a long list here. So we have E. Cummings, Robert Frost. Okay, we are going to I have seen a lot of questions from Robert Frost, so we are going to study Robert Frost. Then we have Ezra Pound, right? William Carlos Williams, Marion Moore, Langston Hume, Carl Sandburg, T.S. Eliot, Wallace Stevens, and Saint Vincent Millay, right? So of these we will study a few, right? You have studied about T.S. Eliot. You already studied about T.S. Eliot, right? So we will primarily be focusing on Robert Frost and a few more poets like William Carlos Williams, Wallace Stevens, right? And Carl Sandburg. Novelists and other prose writers of this time. Now, who were the prose writers, right? I have included the list here, right? We have Fitzgerald writing in this period. We have Gertrude Stein writing. We have William Faulkner. We have Ernest Hemingway. We are going to study all of them in detail, right? These are the names that I have taken, right? Fitzgerald, William Faulkner, Ernest Hemingway, and these three writers. Okay. The modern period, it also saw a lot of movements, right? Every period has some movements which drive the literary I would say the literary spirit of that period, right? So this modern period, it saw movements like jazz age, the Harlem Renaissance, which is important, which we are going to study, and the lost generation, right? Because when we are studying modern this American literature, we are also going to study the movements. We are also going to study the trends apart from the writers and the writings. Okay. Now, it goes without saying that these writers, they were influenced. The World War One had great impact on these writers, because if we talk especially the lost generation, so who all writers are part of lost generation, you already know that this Scott Fitzgerald, Gertrude Stein, they both belong to the lost generation. Who were they? What are the characteristics? In which period they wrote? Right? What are some writings related to the writers of lost generation? We are going to study that. This is just an introduction class, introduction to American literature. Okay, and the Great Depression. Now this is in the background. The Great Depression and the New Deal resulted in some of the America's greatest social issue writing, right? When we will study the playwrights, we will be studying the works of Eugene O'Neill. You might have already studied Hairy Ape, which is part of curriculum of most universities, which is a very important piece of work. So we will be studying plays of Eugene O'Neill. What I want you to study is, I want you to read a few lines, 4-5 lines about the Great Depression, right? Next is the Beat Generation. Okay, the Beat Generation. The Beat Generation, 1944 to 1962. 1944 to 1962. Right? Beat writers. I mean, when we will discuss beat writers, you will see how their works. I mean, they just were a deviation from the traditional writings, the trends in the traditional literature that we have witnessed so far, right? Their works were shocking in nature, right? And they quoted a lot of controversy. So we have Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg, right? So we will be studying their most important works, right? And then the next is confessional poetry. If we, because there are questions from confessional poetry, so remember that confessional poetry, it also started in this particular period. And the literature started becoming bold, the taboo themes, writers started exploring the taboo themes. And the sexual content, it also started making appearance in the literary works, in the poems, especially of the beat writers. That is why a lot of censorship issues came up, and there was a lot of controversy about these works, right? So we will take selected works and we will study about the content of those works and why they quoted controversy, right? And then we also have William S. Burroughs and Henry Miller. Their works, these two writers, their works, they got into they had censorship challenges, right? So what were the features of their work? So when we will study them in detail, we will look at it. But remember, the writers associated with Beat Generation, what kind of work was being written, what was so controversial about that, why they quoted a lot of controversy, we'll look at that, right? And finally, the contemporary period, right? So we dated from 1939 and up to present, because I told you that it is very difficult to classify American literature into periods. In fact, it is difficult to classify any literature into these periods, right? But we do it for the sake of study and our convenience, right? So after World War II, a lot of new trends were seen in literature, right? A lot of new themes were explored. The mode of expression also underwent a lot of change, right? Now what I have done here is I have just listed the names, and I have highlighted the names from which the questions have been asked in UGC net, right? Or the writers which are part of the curriculum of various universities. John Updike, I have seen questions. Sylvia Plath, we are going to study about her. Arthur Miller, Toni Morrison, right? Then we have Ralph Ellison is also important. Remember, An Invisible Man. Have you heard of this work, Invisible Man?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, Thomas Pynchon, Elizabeth Bishop, Tennessee Williams. We are going to study the works. Then Philip Roth, very important. Saul Bellow, right? Then we have Alice Walker, Edward Albee, right? Norman Mailer, Maya Angelou, and Robert Penn Warren. A lot of names. That is why this PPT is very important for you, right? Now, I studied two question paper of UGC net to hunt for questions asked from American literature, and I got two questions, right? Now look at this question which is right in front of you. Although you have not studied Walt Whitman in great detail, I have just touched upon his name in this introduction class. Can you tell me what is the right answer here?
Yes, ma'am. It is Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, the right answer is Abraham Lincoln. So you would have answered this question. So why fear UGC net, right? You already have made some progress. All we need to do is we need to keep taking steps until we reach our goal, right? For those who don't know the right answer, right? Oh captain, my captain, who is addressed in these lines? Abraham Lincoln. Death of Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated, was mourned, right? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I have taken another question from UGC net which I typed here for you, right? Read the question first. Take a minute to read the question and understand the question.
Ma'am, the second option.
Okay, all right. So all of you understood the question? That instead of the names of the writers in the question, what are given? Names of their characters, is given, the characters they created in their works. So what are the characters? Captain Ahab, Hester Prynne, Roderick Usher, Daisy Miller. Right? What would be the right answer? Captain Ahab is in Moby Dick. ठीक है? Herman Melville wrote Moby Dick. Hester Prynne, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Roderick Usher, Edgar Allan Poe, and Daisy Miller. We have Henry James. So what will be the right option of the 4 options given? The right option would be option second. What I want you to do is, since this question has already been asked in the exam, that tells you, what does it tell you? It tells you that these characters are important. So I want you to write down all these 4 characters, right? And I want you to also write down the works in which these characters appeared. Right? Is this clear? So,
Okay.
yes. And second important thing here for you is that character based question are very important from the perspective of UGC NET exam. So what we are going to do is, be it my classes or be it your own self study, right, to supplement what you study here, you will, in your register, you got to maintain notes. Okay, so may take a big register. In that, earmark some pages for these character based question. So when you start preparing, be it my American classes or the British English classes that you will be getting, some other professor will be teaching you, every time a character is mentioned, go to that particular page and add that character to the list and keep revising once in a while. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You cannot imagine how much it is going to help you, because I'm telling you, when I was preparing for UGC NET, right, I stuck to this. I made a list of all the characters, and by the time I was done preparing my notes, I mean, there were so many pages full of characters, and at time I used to forget. Alright, so it's very important to maintain the list and revise. See, let's say you have 10 characters. You have collected 10 characters within 3 days. Now, before you collect next set of 10 characters, please revise those 10 characters which you have already collected. You should know who created these characters, which work they appear in. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So please start doing it. I'll ask you in my next class, have you done it? Which all characters you have added? I've already given you these 4 characters which you need to add. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So before I wrap up, I'm going to take you back, okay, to this. So I told you that it is difficult to classify American literature by period, but we are going to discuss the agreed upon periods by the scholars. So we started with colonial period. I gave you the timeline, and I told you about an important work which was A Narrative of the Uncommon Suffering, okay, which was the first first account of slavery, right? Next, in American literature, mind you. Then next came the Revolutionary Age, right? We had Declaration of Independence and these works, right? I mentioned 2 poets as well, minor poets. Then we had early national period. 2 important things here: the contrast, the first comedy, and Power of Sympathy, the first novel. Right? I also told you that Edgar Allan Poe started writing. The important thing is that frontier novels, they started making their appearance, and James Fenimore Cooper and his The Last Mohican is related to that. Then American Renaissance, right? A very important period, very productive period. We have a lot of popular names here. Okay, I told you, remember that Melville is also known for the short stories. You never know when this information will come in handy for you, right? And then we are going to, this also tells you that you need to remember the short stories. At least read the list. I'm not telling read the short stories. I'm telling go through the list of the short stories of Melville, right? And then 2 important novels by African American writers. First one is in 1853, Clotel, and the second one 1859, Arnig. Okay. Next is the realistic period, known for the realistic writing, Mark Twain and Henry James. These are the Dean Halls, Henry James and Mark Twain. These are the realistic writers of American literature, right? And if we talk about poets, we have Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman, right? Next we have the naturalist period. You should know what naturalist writings are, who are associated with it, and what are the characteristics. One, I told you one characteristic, that characters, they are victims of their own instincts or the socio-economic conditions of the time. I also gave you novels of Edith Wharton, 3 novels. The most important is House of Mirth, and I have given you a homework to write down the central character, the protagonist of all these 3 novels, and share in the group. Next is, I took this test and one of you answered it correctly, right? Next is the modern period. I familiarized you with the writers, right? I told you that these, we will be studying these ages. I at least gave you these terms so that if you are interested, you can explore them on your own as well. We'll be studying them in the class also. I have asked you to read a few lines about the Great Depression and Eugene O'Neill, of course. And next is the Beat Generation. Very important, very popular, very controversial, right? These 2 writers, right? And obviously we will look at other writers who are associated with Beat Generation. Then the contemporary period, right? I just gave you names here, right? And we will be studying some of these writers in great detail later. And then I picked another question from UGC Net question paper, and you could answer it correctly, right? So every time I'll bring a topic to you, I'll also be studying question papers, and I'll be bringing those very questions which have actually which have already been asked in the UGC exam, so that you get a hang of what kind of questions are there, right? See, this is a very it's not a very direct way of answering the question. So if you look at this question, you can easily make out that what is the level of UGC exam, that it is not enough for you to just know the names, it is enough for you to be familiar with the characters and other important details of the work as well. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think we can wrap it up here now, right? And I'll be meeting will be meeting you people in my next session with you, in which I'll be taking up some important writers of American literature, because the syllabus is vast. So we'll be I'll be moving at a slightly fast pace, but don't worry, I'll not compromise on your understanding, since you have a lot of material to commit to memory. So please make it a point to go over the PPTs. Any question for me, aspirants?
Ma'am, in which year you cleared UGC net?
In which year I cleared my net? Are you asking me this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am,
I cleared it long back. I cleared it in this 2012 and 2013.
Okay, ma'am.
Right.
And at present time, what do you do?
I'm working with a university. I'm an assistant professor in a university. Yes. Is there any other question? Okay.
Ma'am, we
Yes.
will have access to this PPT, no, ma'am?
Yes,
Afterwards?
yes. Every single PPT I'll be using in my classes, that will be shared with you the very next day in the group. So that, because I understand that there is a lot of material which you need to write down and commit to memory, right? All the material will be made available to you along with the recordings.
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम,
Yes.
अभी मैंने ये नेट का पेपर दिया था
हम्म।
जो फर्स्ट को था,
हम्म
तो उसमें क्वेश्चन मुझे समझ में ही नहीं आ रहे थे, बहुत सारे जो थे।
नहीं, ऐसा होगा। मैं आपको बता रही हूँ, देखिए ये नेट है, ठीक है। ये आपकी एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट करता है फॉर असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर एंड फॉर लेक्चररशिप एज वेल एज फॉर फर्दर रिसर्च। क्वेश्चंस आर बाउंड टू बी डिफिकल्ट। ऐसे ही इसको थोड़ा ना वन ऑफ द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट एग्जाम्स इन इंडिया बोलते हैं, है ना। तो उस लेवल तक हमें पहुँचना है अभी। तब देखिए, आपने एग्ज़ाम दिया, फिर आपने एक डिसीजन लिया कि आई नीड गाइडेंस, ठीक है। अब जब आप एग्ज़ाम लेंगे, आपके साथ ऐसा नहीं होने वाला कि आपको क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आएंगे, ठीक है।
यस मैम।
हाँ, do one thing. What I can do is, see, I can download that question paper from the website as well. But if it is already with you, download it, you can share it with me, right?
ओके मैम।
हाँ, एंड देन यू कैन टेल मी कि कौन सा क्वेश्चन आपको डिफ़िकल्ट लगे. हम इस तरीके के सेशंस करते रहेंगे, क्योंकि आपके लिए सिर्फ टॉपिक्स पढ़ना ज़रूरी नहीं है. आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि बहुत ही वेल गाइडेड स्टडी करना, और वो तभी होगी जब आपको पता होगा कि यूजीसी का क्वेश्चन पेपर में क्या क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं. जैसे मैंने आपको एक कैटेगरी ऑफ क्वेश्चन आज बता दिया है, कैरेक्टर बेस्ड. कैरेक्टर बेस्ड में से भी कौन से इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं? जॉर्ज एलियट के कैरेक्टर्स, आपके इनके जिनका हार्ड टाइम्स है, डिकेंस के कैरेक्टर, ठीक है, ठाकरे के कैरेक्टर, ये इनके जो कैरेक्टर्स हैं क्रिएट किए हुए, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. सबसे ज़्यादा डिकेंस के कैरेक्टर्स पे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, जॉर्ज एलियट के कैरेक्टर्स पे क्वेश्चन आते हैं. तो अब आपको पता चल गया कैरेक्टर बेस्ड क्वेश्चन है. अब जब भी आप कोई वर्क पढ़ोगे, भले ही आप उसकी सिर्फ एक रीडिंग लगाओगे, बट यू विल मेक श्योर कि आप लिख लो उस प्रोटैगनिस्ट का नाम, ठीक है.
ओके.
और जेन ऑस्टिन के जितने भी वर्क्स हैं उनके कैरेक्टर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है. चलिए ठीक है, चलो रैप अप करते हैं क्लास को. नेक्स्ट सेशन में मिलते हैं. कोई भी फीडबैक हो प्लीज़ फील फ्री टू शेयर विद मी. थैंक यू सो मच. बाय बाय. गुड नाइट.
Thank you, ma'am.
मोस्ट वेलकम.